Thank you, Madam Speaker. All right, I appreciate the opportunity to speak in favor of our founding, of our Constitution, our glorious founding. Frederick Douglass referred to our Constitution. He referred to it as a glorious liberty document. He said, "I defy the presentation of a single pro-slavery clause in it." In fact, Douglass told a crowd gathered to hear his Independence Day address, interpreted it ought to be as it ought to be interpreted, the Constitution is a glorious liberty document. And what this does, what this bill does, is it undermines the foundation. Now, undermining is to mine under, to dig under for the purpose of collapse. It's really an act of war. That's what this bill does. The purpose of a bill like this is to collapse the foundation, the collapse of that glorious liberty document, to get at all the other amendments. So yes, we are fighting here in favor of the Second Amendment, but we're also here for the First Amendment. The Safety Clause would be one, the Fifth Amendment, the Second Amendment, of course, and then even the Fifth and 14th, probably the Sixth. Because we're talking about depriving citizens of their liberty, of their pursuit of happiness by taking their livelihood away. Now, my colleague asked earlier, said, what is this endless parade of Second Amendment infringements? How has that been good for crime? And I'd say it's been very good for crime. Crime is a growth industry in Colorado. Number 3 most dangerous state, number 1 in bank robberies, number 1 in car theft, number 4 in property crime, number 4 in rape, number high in violent crime. Number 10, in the car theft, that also leads to the number 6 in the, for car insurance. Of course, that goes to the climate goals of people not being able to afford personal vehicles. Number 8 in violent crime, number 10 in the rate of human trafficking, and the list goes on. It's a collusion between the criminals, common and elected, to make crime a growth industry in Colorado. Because if the outcome is obvious, the intent can be inferred. Now, that doesn't speak to motive. I don't know why anybody would want crime to go up in Colorado, but crime is going up in Colorado commensurate with the restrictive gun laws. Businesses are leaving Colorado in relation to the number of other laws and the number of infringements on businesses. So today, with a bill coming before us like this, I think the eagle's head is hanging pretty low. That a body of individuals sworn to uphold the Constitution of Colorado and the United States would so willingly and flagrantly bring a bill and support a bill undermining the Constitution of the United States. So Frederick Douglass, he referred to it as that glorious liberty document. He said a man's rights rest in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. Please use them in that order. This is an assault on the cartridge box. This is an assault on liberty. Under the good intentions of being something about crime and reducing crime. But we have already shown that all of your efforts to reduce crime have increased crime, have made it a growth industry. So just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, the use of the tool is in the hand of the holder, and this is a tool. And this does not have, and this tool, the firearm, is nothing without the fire. Because the reason that we have the cartridge box, as noted by Frederick Douglass, is because we have that Fifth Amendment, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, which are preserving those creator-endowed self-evident rights, whereby the government is purposed with securing the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter and abolish it and form a government that does support the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This bill is just more proof that there is no problem that the government can't make worse with a solution. You present a solution to decrease crime, you increase crime. because you want to squeeze the human into some sort of totalitarian mold and make him into your own image. 1133 is a de facto gun registration. And who would you be registering with? Well, in order to buy ammunition, you present I'm sure you present some form of ID. I suppose you could present some, I don't know, you could present a utility bill, perhaps. Any utility bill, because a utility bill is all you need to vote in Colorado, so a utility bill should be all that you need to present as an ID to purchase ammunition. Since the vote is certainly more important than buying of ammunition. So now, when this body says sometimes it actually says it's racist to ask for an ID. Now this body is going to say you have to have an ID to buy ammunition, which would make that requirement racist. So now this bill is racist. So the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is an infringement. And by being an infringement, it is a violation of our Constitution. That automatically makes this law void. Now, of course, it's going to have to go through the legal process, and it's going to cost millions of dollars, but it still has to go. This bill deprives the right of self-defense to defend your life, liberty, and property against those who would deprive it without due process of law, whether those criminals are common or elected. We already talked about how this bill violates the First Amendment as well as undermines the Second and all the rest by putting a safety clause on it to tell the people of Colorado that you cannot petition your government for redress of grievances. So there's just so many violations of our founding document wrapped up in this paper. And supported by people who take an oath to support and defend the Constitution. I guess this body doesn't take an oath to support and defend the Constitution, but support the Constitution. That'd be the military members. So when military members sign up to undermine the Constitution as part of their oath to support and defend the Constitution, I'm really kind of wondering if they've ever read the Constitution. Businesses are being deprived of their livelihood, their pursuit of happiness. They're deprived without a trial. This bill undermines the very essence of our foundational liberty. And this is at a time when our governor is filling the state with predators. This makes the Second Amendment ever more important. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of our Constitution, of that glorious liberty document, and question why anybody would want to undermine it. That indeed makes the head of the eagle hang very, very low. Because it's applicable, I'll reiterate that any unarmed people are slaves or subject to slavery at any given moment. If the guns are taken out of the hands of the people and only the pigs have guns, then it's off to the concentration camps. And we've seen this. History is a warning from the future, and we have seen this over and over. 100 to 200 million people have been killed by their governments legally because the government first took their firearms. The gas chambers, or whatever the fascists in America come up with, one of the democratic rights of the United States, the Second Amendment to the Constitution, gives the people right.
Representative DeGraaf, you have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Gives the people the right to bear arms. However, there is a greater right, the right of the human dignity that gives all men the right to defend themselves. So I'm asking you, honor your oath. I'm asking you to honor your oath to support the Constitution, to not undermine our glorious liberty document for political grandstanding. And if you don't like the term fascist, don't do fascist stuff. Thank you.